Well, the Moise Caicedo to Arsenal deal might be hijacked by a team that we're going to get to know in this video. So it really shows you that you need to keep in this channel to keep you in the know, because we bring you the latest news and information as far as these players are really concerned. Then Jorginho latest. Mikel Arteta is an admirer of this player. I've seen people downplaying Jorginho, but getting in Jorginho to play for Arsenal for just 5 months to see to it that they will have a perfect backup for Thomas Partey is not something much to request for, if at all the Caicedo deal looks like it's going to fall through. So welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where you're watching us from? Marquinhos has gone ahead to train. With Norwich, and obviously that means he passed the medical. And after passing the medical, he trained with Norwich for the very first time, meaning that he's in contention to start the game they're going to play over the weekend, meaning that his debut is really going to be up there on the weekend. Then Ziyech is another one in the mix. Shocking transfer for him from Chelsea to PSG. PSG are in for Ziyech, and they really want to sign him on loan with an option to buy from Chelsea. Welcome to this channel, guys. Once again, Rokani David is my name, so don't forget to subscribe. How to subscribe? Smash the black button. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will let you be notified every time we upload a video onto our channel. That is the Rokani Media Football. Let's start it off with the Caicedo stories coming in from all over the world, because you're having lots of Caicedo stories, and me as Rokani David, I sieve through because there are some fake accounts, but here I come in with people who really have a name to protect in the game or in the field of journalism. Because if a journalist comes out and really puts out something that is really not credible, then he's going to lose his credibility. But there are certain accounts that don't have nothing to lose, and someone can easily close it and obviously creates another one on Twitter, because one can create another account on Twitter easily and obviously go out to spread lies, because there are very many lies going about this deal of Caicedo to Arsenal. But obviously we are keeping in tabs with those that really keep us in the know, and we are really relating to them because they are the ones that have gone ahead to do this for seasons and seasons. So these are seasonal journalists that I'm really bringing you. They've worked, or they are working on credible media outlets in the world. Let's kickstart it off with the following, as we expected the third bid of Caicedo to go in through. Now, Luca Bedoni, he's a transfer market journalist. He interviews and obviously aspiring team. He works for he's part of the DiMarzio team, and he's telling us that he understands Arsenal have not sent a third bid to Brighton Moise Caicedo yet. Talks will continue on deadline day. Caicedo would be ready to accept Arsenal's conditions in case club seals an agreement. At the moment, it is still stalled. So the deal is still stalling because Arsenal is still trying to really explore the third bid. Whether it's really going to be in today night or tomorrow morning, but they are not giving up on the deal of Moise Caicedo because they believe he's the perfect player they're really having in. Amidst confirmations that Arsenal have also gone in and inquired on the availability of Jorginho at Chelsea, because Chelsea are going in for Enzo Fernandez. That has not really put Arsenal out of the deal to sign a player known as Moise Caicedo. They are still pushing for it. Reason being, he's the priority midfielder they're really looking at this time round, and that is Arsenal for you. So Luca Bedoni is really another journalist that even Fabrizio has always been quoted, that Fabrizio has always been quoting in his tweets, especially if at all he comes in to break the news fast. So he's really one of those transfer journalists that has really had very many details to his to his transfer outlets, really being linked to big players, obviously approved by people like David Austin and Fabrizio Romano. So if at all he comes in through and tells you that Arsenal have not yet set in the third bid, you have to accept, because these people are so close to the deal. They speak to the agents, and you know who spills this news? It's the agents and the intermediaries. That's it. So he's really one of those that you should keep an eye to. After that, we've been told by Luca Bedoni again that Moise Caicedo and his camp keep pushing for the deadline day move, been told that nothing can be ruled out yet. Everything is possible, and the deal now fully depends on two clubs. more to follow. So obviously the player has given Arsenal green light that for me I'm okay with you. I've even read a story, I don't know whether it's true, that he's going to be given a deal of 5-6 years at Arsenal, 5 years with an option year. Those are 6 years at Arsenal. He's going to be earning £80,000 a week. And there is a story that was circulating on social media that he was earning 3,000, close to £4,000 a week. That is Moise Caicedo. And you can't go ahead and downplay it, because sources from Brighton have not gone ahead to reveal to us how much this young man has been earning at Brighton, having come on, or having came through from Ecuador directly to the Premier League. Don't expect him to come in through to be earning close to £10,000. I believe that story might be having something great about it after the player came out and indicated in his public transfer request statement he issued on his several social media platforms that he has close to 9 siblings to look after. He is the last born in a family of 10. So he has a lot on his financial shoulders. So he needs more money to look after his siblings. So that's what Caicedo said. So they are pushing for this move to see that it happens, because you never know what is going to happen in the summer. But I believe even if Caicedo doesn't get a move of Arsenal in the winter transfer window, teams like Manchester United will come in for him. And I think this is what Arsenal is afraid of, because letting down the player in this scenario is like how unserious Arsenal are, because we'll tell them, you guys failed to make it £80 million to get me from Brighton, because Brighton are calling in for £80 million and Arsenal's second bid was £70 million. So only £10 million, you couldn't come in and really take me. Then it looks like you guys were not serious on me. I should look for another team that should take me. And that's the same thing that is happening with Tielemans, because Tielemans, on 2 occasions, Arsenal have really gone ahead to really fail to top up the money that Leicester is calling in for. Then he has gone ahead to really tell the respective teams that are really wanting for him in the January transfer window that I'm not leaving Leicester City. I'm not renewing my contract. I know in the summer I'm going to be a free agent and I'll be going in to a club that will be willing to get me the huge money that I want, because these players now are really all after money, and every person in the world is all after money. Apart from everything, you can't live wealthy without money. He has lived with Kevin De Bruyne, the national team. He knows how a player who earns close to £400,000 really lives his life. So at Leicester, I think he's earning like, is it £70,000 a week? That is Yuri Tielemans. He would love to go out and really be signed as a free agent to earn in more money, but all that was brought up by Arsenal for coming in twice for him and failing to meet the realistic evaluation of Leicester City. So even Arsenal pushing for this deal to happen, reason being they know in the summer it will be hard for them to talk to the agent of Caicedo, because they'll tell them, you betrayed us, £10 million, you didn't have it, you had it, and you never wanted to top it up, and now a player is also available for this amount of money. Are you willing to pay it? So you made us put out a public transfer request, but obviously it really went out with you guys not coming to really give us the best that we deserve to get and hear from you. So that is what you'll hear coming in from a side known as Caicedo and his agents and his representatives. And now that confirms to you why Arsenal are really pushing for this deal to happen. However much it's going to be a deadline day deal, Arsenal are really pushing to get it done. Now we're having a journalist called Fraser Fletcher. He's a football journalist at transfer.com. He formerly worked for BBC Scotland News, and he's a Scottish. He's telling us that Arsenal considering third bid for Caicedo. Not over yet, as some reports suggest. Told that bid totaling £75 million, raising to £80 million, would not be surprising. One to watch, but might be too much for Arsenal at this point, club considering. So Arsenal are really evaluating their chances of really getting in with £80 million. That is it, because that's the bid that Brighton wants. And if at all Arsenal puts it on the table, the deal will be really gotten, done and dusted. But I think Arsenal is desperate, and they've really they took a lot of time negotiating the Carlo Modric deal that put them to this deal. Because if they had really either signed Modric in the first week of January and it never really took all that long, I believe they would have gone ahead to have ample time to look in for midfielder. But what is really forcing them into this is the time they spent in the Mkalo Modric deal. I believe if at all they had made this bid of Caicedo on Monday or last Monday, and they had close to 8-9 days to really get this deal done, they would have really got it out of the way. But right now, it's really stiff, and even Brighton is also really hardening for a reason. They should look in for a replacement of much. They brought in Ayala from AIK in Sweden, but it looks like they want to go for more players in there. So I believe it's really something that is really holding Arsenal back. But as we are there, we got a story from Jacob Stekelenburg. Obviously, I think he works for The Guardian, not so. Very credible journalist known as Jacob Steinberg, football correspondent for The Guardian. Obviously, very good journalist, and he's really always on point. He has told us that Chelsea could make a last-ditch attempt to land Caicedo on deadline day, even if they land Enzo Fernandez. Toddy Boyle and Clearlake Capital remain interested in Caicedo, and a deadline demo of attempt could be dependent on outgoings in the midfield. Now, this is where it gets funny and good, or interesting for Chelsea fans over the world, and it gets nasty for the club, for the supporters of Arsenal. It's a delight to Chelsea fans over the world and a nightmare to Arsenal, because Chelsea has done this before. Don't you know this? Haven't you seen it? They've seen them do it. So, as things stand, it really looks like Chelsea are trying to get the most difficult deal out of the way, that is of Enzo Fernandez, and they've put a bid of 120 million euros on table, and Benfica are now the ones left to decide whether they give green light to this deal or not. But as it stands, they are going to give green light to this deal because they are getting 120 million euros, because they are in a perfect position. Chelsea has to give them that money at once. That's what they want. They don't want even add-ons. They want that money at once because they feel like add-ons might really not be the best option for them to have. And secondly, they might be afraid of how Chelsea is going to be handled by the financial fair play rule in the next 2-3 years, as they will try to break down the payment structure of Enzo Fernandez. So as things stand, after Enzo Fernandez, it's predicted that Chelsea are really going to come in hard for a player called Caicedo, and they have the money. They have the money. If you've not been watching me and you're watching me for the very first time, Chelsea have gone ahead, you hear me out, to have close to 1.5 billion pounds ever since Toddy Boyle and his consortium took over. You get? So far they've spent close to 400 million pounds. They add on Enzo Fernandez, they would have really put their gross spend, all net spend, all gross spend, and of those from the summer to the middle transfer window to 500 million pounds. So it shows that they still have £1 billion to spend. They have the money with them. So don't underlook this story, guys. Don't underlook this story, because I think Graham Potter would like to have Caicedo, because Caicedo can play well as a CDM, a box-to-box midfielder, and the central attack midfielder. The same applies to Enzo Fernandez. If you really have Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in your midfield, as a Chelsea fan or coach, you would be not needing a central attacking midfielder to play ahead of them, because these two can do anything that a central attacking midfielder does, meaning that he can play them in a midfield 2 or a double pivot. Then he plays a 3-4-3. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, right wing back, James, left wing back, Cucurella or Chilwell. Then the front three, Mkalo Modric, João Felix, and maybe Kai Havertz or Raheem Sterling. So they'll be getting the required supply from the midfield and connecting the midfield to the attack. These two can do it very, very well, because whoever stays can really shield the back four and do the needful for the club of Chelsea. So I think that might be the plan, and don't downplay this story. You might find it that they are really serious coming in for Caicedo, but it's going to be a very bad day for Arsenal if at all Chelsea comes in through and really hijack another deal from them, because they've really done it on Mkalo Modric, and Arsenal fans felt like they are not happy with it, but there are certain things you have nothing to do with. But obviously, a player known as Caicedo is really being looked at by Chelsea. They just want to get the deal of Enzo Fernandez out of the way. After getting it out of the way, they come in for the lad. And we've been told by Fraser Forster that it will depend on the club outgoings. That's it. Sorry, Jacob Steinberg is telling us that for Chelsea to come in and obviously hijack this deal, it will depend on the club outgoings in the midfield. Now, the club's outgoing in the midfield of Chelsea is Jorginho, a player who is left with just 5 months on his contract to expire at Chelsea. Arsenal have shown interest in this player and it's one of those outgoings, meaning that if Arsenal happen to get Jorginho, it will be hard for them to go in for Caicedo, meaning that Chelsea will go outside there, singly in the race, to battle it out with the owner of the player known as Caicedo, that is Brighton. So as things stand, we might see this happening. Now, as we think of that hijack, and what is going to propel it is that Jorginho's departure. Fabrizio Romano, after telling us that Arsenal has really made an approach and inquiry about the availability of Jorginho, we've been told by Fabrizio Romano that Mikel Arteta understood to be a fan of Jorginho and appreciating his skills. This is why he's a concrete name for the final hours for Arsenal. But Chelsea want significant fee to let him leave. Now, I've had people coming out and giving their different opinions about this deal of Jorginho to Arsenal. But there is one thing I want to highlight about. Guys, do you know that Jorginho, for the previous 2-3 seasons, has been one of the best CDMs in the Premier League? And him, Rodri, Fabinho, and Thomas Partey have been really leading the table. Now, if you're getting one of the best CDMs in the league, don't say that he's a cheat. Don't say that you don't want him. But just accept that Arsenal are really trying to model up a transfer window to get in players they want. And having an alternative that can easily be gotten is another thing that you would go ahead and really appreciate and commend. Because imagine a winter transfer window ending without Arsenal signing any player playing the CDM position, and Partey gets an injury. So, Jorginho, no player at all. I think I go with Jorginho because I know he can get that game done. So, in the game of Man City, you bring Jorginho in when Partey is injured. I think Arsenal has a chance to win it because this man is one of the best passers of the ball and winners of the ball. He has been one of the best midfielders in the world. Teams like Barcelona are eyeing him to take him on a free in the summer. It shows you how good the player is. I don't have any problem with Jorginho apart from his physical attribute, but I believe all that can come in through and really be solved for Arsenal, because sometimes there are midfielders that don't even need energy to really block, but their brain, because his game reading is outside there and he averages very many passes in a single game. So that puts me in a contention to talk about Jorginho over Caicedo. I think it should be Caicedo over Jorginho, but if at all Brighton is making it hard for you to get Caicedo, then why don't you get Jorginho in and really get your season done and dusted? So I believe Arteta loves Jorginho, and obviously he wants him in, though Arsenal fans are really not okay with it. Now, we've been told again according to High HTC, Chelsea are open to letting Jorginho go join Arsenal. Graham Potter's Chelsea are open to selling Jorginho to Mikel Arteta's Arsenal in the final hours of the January transfer window. And I think they're going to sell him if at all that deal of Jorginho falls apart. Do you know why? Because if they don't sell him, he's going out on a free, and Arsenal is the only team willing to offer them money. So I think they're going to sell Jorginho to Arsenal if at all Arsenal fail to get Caicedo now. So know that the only reason that is going to get the deal of Caicedo done and dusted is simple. It's when Arsenal fail to land in Caicedo. If they land in Caicedo, Jorginho deal dies a natural death. So that is it for now, coming in from a player known as Jorginho to Arsenal. But Mikel Arteta is an admirer of Jorginho and would love him in at the club of Arsenal. That has been confirmed as by Fabrizio Romano. Now, let's go to Marquinhos, who has really underwent a medical with Norwich today on loan until the end of the season. We've been told by Chris Davidson, he's a writer for the Football London, and he's like an Arsenal correspondent, writes Arsenal stories. He has told us that he understands Marquinhos trained with Norwich City today after successfully completing medical. Loan deal until the end of the season, set to be announced tomorrow. So Arsenal is going to announce this deal tomorrow for Marquinhos. And Marquinhos is one of those players I really love, though he couldn't break through the starting 11 of Arsenal because Bukayo Saka looks like he's just trying to really live in his own kingdom as far as playing the right wing for Arsenal is concerned. After Marquinhos, let's end this episode or podcast with a story coming in from PSG and France. L'Equipe telling us that PSG hopes to receive the signature of Chelsea's Moroccan international forward Hakimi Ziyech before the close of the market on Tuesday evening. And the confirmation has come in through that Ziyech is open to go away and play in PSG, and then they'll see how that deal is really going to go ahead and really mature at the end of the season. So Ziyech is joining PSG, confirmed, and I think he might be on the plane in the next 1 or 3 hours to undergo his medical and then be unveiled as a PSG player. So thank you guys for watching in through. Smash the like button, comment and share your thoughts on Caicedo to Arsenal hijack, Chelsea planning it. What are your thoughts about it? Jorginho being admired by Mikel Arteta and he wants to sign the player as soon as possible. I want to know what your thoughts are about it. Then Marquinhos coming in through and obviously training with Norwich for the very first time. And would you think that it's the right move for PSG to get in Ziyech as a player from Chelsea and give him a permanent deal? All right, that's why I'm here to really leave you and obviously tell me your thoughts about the stories. We've gone ahead and really get you in the know. And lastly, do you think Arsenal are going to make a third bid for Caicedo? Because we are told they have not yet given up. They are still so much in that deal and are willing to do the needful and get the deal done and dusted. So guys, may the Almighty God bless you abundantly. Don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 12,000 subscribers. We are less by, is it 400 subscribers? But let's continue subscribing to see that we really go ahead and really reach that number. So I sign out for now. See you later, guys. Good night. I think last video of the day. Tomorrow morning we wake up to a very hectic day because tomorrow we are going to do even like 10 stories because very many transfers are really going to be on the way and it's going to be deadline day. So we promise to be here until the deadline is closed, and we promise you to either do a live video tomorrow when everything is done and dusted. I sign out for now. See you later. Good night.